to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm Josh Robinson, the head football coach, and we're here to discuss our past game versus Central of Carroll High School. We took on the Lions this past Friday and came out victorious on the night, playing really well. We played extremely well in the first half. Had an extreme hiccup in the third quarter, which has unfortunately been the situation, made the game a little closer than it could, than it probably should have been. I was really proud of our guys last year when we went and played at Central. We ended up turning the ball over 7 times. I believe 1 special team, 1 defensive turnover after a fumble recovery, and then 5 on offense. So to come out this time and play really well after 2 off weeks, which is definitely not optimal. Our guys really focused, and we felt like we had our best practices that we've had all year over that 2-week span leading up to the game week versus Central. So, it was nice to see that translate and move forward with our season with a huge opening region victory. We have a small region, so 3 wins should get you in the playoffs. 4 wins should get you a home playoff game, and then of course the team that wins the region is probably going to need to win all 5 region games. So big win for us against a very talented team. Coach Smiley and his staff do a tremendous job with those young men, and he has a lot of underclassmen playing. But at the same time, we're going to talk about some of our guys. We had several sophomores on the field. We started 3 freshmen, played a lot for us. So we have a good foundation for now, and we're building a foundation for the future. Our freshman team and has a good record playing against JV teams. Our JV has actually suffered several season-ending injuries, and then with some sophomores moving up and playing on varsity, has really handicapped them. But those guys are playing hard and doing things that make them prepared for contributing on a Friday night in the next year. So let's talk about the statistics from Friday. Owen Brooker had his best game of the year by far, 21 of 28 for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. Owen has played not as well as he wanted, but at the same time, he's played good. Well, he played great on Friday, throwing the ball, getting people open. He delivered balls on time, which is a really big deal for a passing team. And as I say that, I transition to the next stat, and we rushed the ball 37 times on Friday. I was really proud of our offense. The game was in question. Offense didn't play particularly well in the third quarter. We were up by, I believe, 19, turned the ball over, and allowed a quick score there to cut the lead for us. And so it was an interesting night for sure, but our offense took over with 7.5 minutes left and churned out the clock. That's 2 games in a row where we drove off 6-7 minutes to finish the game and not allow the other team to get the ball back, and that's huge. Again, especially for us who really likes to throw the ball when the opportunity arises. Freshman came in. We were unfortunate that Adrian Reyes suffered an injury in the open week. We hope to have him back this coming week, but he had 20 rushes for 99 yards and a touchdown. He had a couple of catches we're going to talk about in a minute, but just an outstanding performance by a freshman. He's really talented and has stepped into the role since this summer. He's been really accountable. He's just learning the game, but did some outstanding stuff for us. Owen Brooker had 17 rushes for 65 yards and a touchdown. So, Owen didn't just do it with his arm, he did it with his legs, and he's kind of been doing that for us all year. And if we're going to be successful, we're going to mix it in. He's accounting for almost 300 yards of total offense on any given Friday, and he should. He's an experienced guy, and, he's received a lot, so there's high expectations for him, and he's living up to them. And again, this was his best game that he threw the ball all year long. And then we had a linebacker step in for us. Jaden Santiago had 2 rushes for 16 yards and a touchdown. Jaden is really our third running back that we try not to use because he's so important on defense, but he still did a good job for us. Receiving, Ray Morrison had 7 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. He receives a lot of attention. He's getting double covered quite frequently, and Ray still turned in an unbelievable performance against a really good football team with some good talent. So we hope to continue down that road with Ray. I think he's somewhere, I don't really know, I think he's somewhere above 30 catches and several touchdowns on the year. And, he provides us the ability to where even if he doesn't catch a ball, there's going to be a lot of attention and give other guys some opportunities. Braden Morrison had 5 catches for 46 yards. Again, probably not his best blocking game, but still he's definitely the most physical guy that we've ever had at wide receiver blocking wise, and had some big catches for us. I believe in those catches there was a 2-point conversion, which can't be overlooked. Braden's just a consistent guy. We love him. We're glad he's part of the team. He contributes in multiple ways, and we need him to continue to play well for us like he is. Again, he's approaching that 25-30 catch mark on the year, which is unbelievable for a high school receiver to catch that many in such a short time, with another guy catching several passes. And then we have Hudson Gray, who came in with 4 catches for 27 yards, sophomore for us, performing on Fridays, doing really well. Punted the ball great. That's something we haven't talked about early in the year. At practice, Hudson really struggled punting the ball, but has done an outstanding job. And I believe on Friday night he had around a 47-yard punt, if my memory serves me correct. Had some big catches for us Friday, and continues to work. And he's going to become a better blocker, and he's going to transition into a big role in our offense and defensive scheme. Cameron Collins, we've already talked about him rushing, the freshman. He also had 2 catches for 27 yards on the night. You know, it's huge to come out and be able to swing the ball out to him, and carries the ball and protects it. He's a little faster than what he showed. I think he was a little worried about maybe making a mistake or fumbling. Once he learns to turn it loose, he's going to be a very big part of what we do. Braxton Floyd played great on defense, very few mistakes over there, and also tallied 2 catches for 11 yards on the night. So a very good job by Braxton. Continues to play both ways for us, a ton of snaps, and that's not going to change. You know, he's a junior, first-year starter who's contributing well and growing into his role on both sides of the ball, and we're proud of him. And then Jay Stalley had 1 catch for 10 yards, was in the game plan to have more catches and get the ball to him a little bit more. We felt like there were some matchup issues that he could cause, being a big target, playing from his position, but unfortunately he had his eye gouged exceptionally hard, and worried about infection and damage, so he was sent home for the night. I thought our offensive line played well. Austin Duncan, Alex Starks, Riley Bonanno, Gian Gomez, Jackson Greason, and Dawson Wheeler. Those guys were outstanding. Sometimes I skim by them as we get to highlights, but I wanted to make sure to mention I thought they were really solid on the night. Most of them were more physical than they have been, and we've got to continue to grow on that to make our football team complete. So a good night on offense. Again, I don't think we're quite to that, tapped our potential to the fullest yet, but we're close. We maximized our opportunities in the first half by scoring 4 out of 7 possessions, I believe. And outside of the third quarter, we really played an exceptional game on offense. At this time, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Started the game kicking off to us here, kick a long line drive to Hudson. We got to, our front line does a better job blocking. Our second wall had a few really physical guys, but we all got to get physical. Hudson does a great job of getting in there. We should open the game. Good job by our O-linemen getting out there. I believe that's Riley Bonanno, Austin Duncan, and Jackson Greason running the trap early here with Cameron. I believe they're decided coming in, they wanted to bring a lot of pressure, and our run game starts hurting them, and then Owen does a great job of scrambling, and by scrambling, we really took them, in my opinion, we kind of took them out of their game plan. This is a great catch on third down near the goal line, great throw where only Ray could get to it, and then we run the jet sweep, and they don't get a lot of secondary support there, and Ray's able to have a receiving touchdown because of the way we ran it. Grant Holder, Grant comes in and kicks an extra point for us. They motion to empty. They're being physical here. They throw a double pass, probably the first trick play we've seen all year, and reaches a little behind the guy, but does a good job covering. And here you can see Ike Ralston basically kick over or run over the guard that's trying to kick him out. Does a wonderful job for us, and we end up making a punt. on fourth down, and I believe we're going to end up getting a good bounce that could have took a big roll forward, but it ends up stopping. I believe our offense stalled right there, and we punted, which is going to happen against a good football team, and that's one of the plays where Junior just creates a huge pile. Jackson, Jaden, Connor Cummins, and Ike all get in on the tackle. I think maybe Reyes De La Paz was in there as well. They end up punting. Our offense stalls again, and then we come back on defense. There's a penalty on first down, and Dominique's really physical at corner. He's a strong kid for us and is able to make a tackle, and then we kind of missed the ball right there, and we end up running him out of bounds. He kind of slips on the sideline. There, Miles really puts a big hit on the quarterback. We need Braxton to be over top there. Still not terrible coverage, kind of forcing the throw to go out of bounds. They end up getting a shorter punt off. Isaiah's got to hear our calls a little quicker to alert him the ball's near him. We come back on offense. We run the trap, but Owen reads it and pulls the ball and gets a big play up to midfield. For our offense, we end up picking up a first down. Good catch by Ray. Ray gets up around that first down mark. I believe he ended up being right on the mark and getting it. And then a huge run right before the end of the first quarter to put us up 13-0 with Cameron Collins, the freshman, scoring his, I believe, if my memory serves me right, his first varsity touchdown in high school. Our guys, Jaden, Jax, in on the tackles. I see Ike Ralston coming in there. I'm sure there's another D lineman I missed. Riley Bonanno pulling, needs to be more physical and run his feet, but has good hat placement. Cameron's able to get a good pickup. Running a screen to Braden Morrison. Braden does a great job of making people miss. Number 8 does a good job of pursuing for Central, but still a positive play for us. And on third down, huge catch to get us a first down and get down inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Running a little play here, and here you see Jace Talley get it, and then we have once he gets on the ground, he gets poked in the eye, and Jaden Santiago squeaks through here and is really physical, and he's talking all the time about scoring touchdowns, and he ends up a little short there, but then he turns into a physical guy again to put it in the end zone, and we end up going for 2, and Braden Morrison catches a 2-point conversion to put Northwest up 21-7 with about half of the second quarter left. Here you can see we're really physical. We've stopped them. This is something they've had success on all year long, and here the quarterback, Jax, does a great job of fitting where he's supposed to. Jaden turns it back in. Ike was physical. We got to come down a little bit more there out of Dominique, but Connor makes a really good open field tackle. They drop back to pass on first down. De La Paz gets some pressure, throw the ball, and you can't really see all of it. But right there's Reyes really taking the quarterback out off his feet. Ends up unfortunately being called as a hold, so it comes back. But our guys do a tremendous job of keeping their composure. Austin Duncan, that's wonderful to get out there and block a good athlete for any team, but especially the ones like Central has. And then on 2nd and 9, we throw it deep here to Ray, and he runs past everybody and scores a touchdown to put us up 27-7. We go for 2 there. They didn't have enough people to defend our 2-point conversion. Unfortunately, we didn't deliver the ball on time. They get the ball. It was not kicked exceptionally well, but a huge sack by Jaden. This is as the half starts to wind down here with very little time left, and we do a great job. Plays like this typically, unfortunately work. Jax applies the pressure there. He ends up throwing it backwards. They have to punt towards the end of the half. Grant Holder has done an exceptional job for us all year, and he's such a good kicker. He's going to have to gain more confidence. I've been on him a few times because I know how hard he's worked and how talented he is, and I believe he can go out and perform. But he's going to do it. He's shown that he has the ability on kickoffs and field goals and PATs to be a really good kicker and one of the best in our region. We look forward to him growing. At this time, let's take a look at our corporate sponsors. Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. Let's talk about our defense a little bit. I felt in the first half, minus one pass play, I thought our defense was lights out. We struggled a little bit in pass coverage in the third quarter, early fourth. Our run defense remained constant, but part of the struggles in covering the pass came from our front seven kind of tiring out. We had a couple of linebackers that were a little bit gassed and not as aggressive on some things they were doing to get involved in the pass rush in the third quarter when they were able to move the ball. But overall, I was really proud that Central came in rushing for right at 300 yards a game. I believe the quarterback just was coming off a 150-yard performance. Their running backs rushed for over 100 yards several times, and then they mix in a few other runs to some other guys. So for us to hold them to, I believe it was 29 rushes for 128 yards, that's an exceptional night for our guys. And it all started up front with Reyes de la Paz finally getting to stay at his normal position at defensive end now that we've got all of our linebackers healthy and we have a little more depth back there. He had 5 tackles and 4 quarterback pressures and 2 tackles for a loss. Reyes is all over the field. He's one of the hardest playing kids that we've had, not only this year, but really since I've been at Northwest in 18 years. So we're definitely glad to have him. He continues to perform, and now that he can settle in a role, a full-time role on the defensive line, I anticipate him playing even better. Junior Aguirre only had 2 tackles and a tackle for a loss. Both tackles were huge. The tackle for a loss, I believe, was on a second down to get them behind the chains and put them in a position where it was 3rd and 10. So big tackles, but at the same time, Junior played very average against them at Central last year, and this is something he and I have talked about. And I expected a big night out of him, exactly what we got. And it's not necessarily the statistics, but he was moving people all night long, a yard or two in the backfield. They have a lot of pullers. He was getting in the way with his movement and his physicality. He's slanting better. He's just so much better a football player this year, and has really made our defense, our linebackers able to flow downhill, made our defense more effective. Hayden Maynard, again, is starting to get into shape, and we've kind of had to play him due to some injuries in the in the linebackers and movement of Reyes. We've kind of had to play him more plays coming back off his injury than we wanted, but he's starting to get into that game shape area, and he played 45 plays for us and came up huge with 4 tackles, a quarterback pressure on the night. And Hayden's a warrior. He's coming off a MCL tear in the off season and has continued to fight, wears a brace. I haven't heard him complain. He comes to work every day, and we just want him to continue down that path and be a leader that he is. And he played really well on Friday and contributed to our success up front. Miles Mays is one of the freshmen that played significant time and continues to. After probably a below average performance against Chattooga, he came back with a great performance against Central in his plays. He was able to play a little less, which we want out of our younger guys. We want our older guys to play more, and he came up with 3 tackles, tackle for a loss, a quarterback pressure, which was a big hit on the quarterback, and really prevented a touchdown throw from being made because of the pressure he had. So he's going to grow, not only physically but mentally, and he kind of went through that freshman blue area where they're just not used to playing high school football and the length and the amount of time it takes. And I think he's climbed out of that hole and is going to continue his upward ascension to be a big part of our football team. Connor Cummins and Ike Ralston were phenomenal outside linebacker for us. Ike was ultra physical, which is something that we've really been preaching and something we've kind of groomed Ike for at his position. He's coming off a broken wrist. It was his first game. He was not in game shape. You really can't be until you have multiple weeks of practice. He's really only practiced for 3 weeks, and we're ultra proud of him coming in with 5 tackles, a tackle for a loss, and 3 pressures, of which 2 of them were big hits on the quarterback. Again, possibly saving a touchdown pass because they were deep throws that were missed because of it. Connor Cummings has been back a few games, and he's been wonderful on the outside for us with a spectacular performance of 8 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and a pressure. He rarely misses a tackle. I think he only had 1 in this game, and he's often put as a linebacker, or our front 7 guys, he's put in a position to tackle the other team's best players in open space more than anybody up front, and he continues to be a solid solid rock for us and making plays, and our defense is only, now that we're healthy and guys are kind of going back to their natural position, we're only going to continue to improve. Jax Brooker turned in another very good performance for us with 11 tackles. Those guys up front and the guys around him are able to box and send things into him, and he has exceptional reads and causes a lot of issues by being so physical and so fast for our defense, and the offenses typically struggle with guys that get their reads and goes like he does. But the thing is, he still reads the counter really well, so he continues to be a vital part to what we're doing. Jaden Santiago moved back to his natural position with 9 tackles and a sack, and I think the only bad thing I would say is because he was playing a little bit of offense that slowed him down a little bit in the game, but as he adapts that role and we get Adrian back, I believe he's going to be ultra effective. We're really proud of him and his ability to perform on both sides of the ball for us, and he'll get better and better now every week. We've kind of had to move him around from inside to outside to different positions on the outside, different position on the inside. So it's been kind of one of those years with him being a senior and experienced guy. We've moved him about, and he's done a good job. Caden Ramsey had a pass breakup on the night, and the unfortunate thing is he was a freshman starting for us, really starting to grow as a football player and understand what we need, and he broke his hand. Really, you can't really see it on film. He's not real sure how it happened, but really early in the game he broke his hand, and he's having season-ending surgery here in a couple of days. So that's unfortunate for him, but injuries are a part of football, and Caden's a really good basketball player, and we're glad that he gets to come back for that, even though it's a few days late. But we really love to have him for football. Look forward to what he's going to contribute to our football program over the next 3 years. He's, not many freshmen started. I don't think we've ever started a freshman on defense, and this year we started 2 at times. So, the future is bright as long as guys like Caden and Miles and others continue to grow and perform. Reese Cowart on the night came up with 2 tackles. Reese continues to get better for us. He's all in. He gives us all he's got every single Friday, and he's learning our defense, our secondary better, and becoming a consistent guy back there for us. And sometimes it's tough. We play good athletes. We're playing more good athletes this coming Friday against Cedartown, and he's going to be asked to tackle big guys and cover at the same time. Safety's a really hard position to play in our defense, and he's done a valiant job at it. And then Braxton Floyd had 1 tackle, a great pass breakup, and an even better interception that should have been a return for a pick 6. He slipped on the interception, made a great break on it, one of the best breaks we've had in a few years, driving out of his pedal and his slip to go pick it off, and then our guys did a great job of blocking. Unfortunately, one was called a hold that Reyes really took the guy off his feet by exploding into him and demonstrating the weight room effects, and it was called a hold. So Braxton didn't get to score a touchdown in that fashion, but it's definitely a turning point for us. They had the ball around the 40, 35-yard line. We'll see it in a little bit, and when he returned it for a touchdown, it was huge for our defense and our football team. Dominic Smith had 4 tackles and an interception. Braxton had a pass breakup, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it was tipped, and Dominic made a great diving catch. And Dominic had to move from corner to safety in the game, and he wasn't as comfortable. He spent most of his high school career playing corner, but now with Caden out, we're probably going to have to shift him a little bit more to safety for him to perform for us. And as he gets that experience, he has game experience, so he knows the speed to play at, but as he gets those reads and gets involved in the game, he's definitely going to come down and make some tackles for us and be involved in our game plan. And again, back there in the secondary, he's the only guy with any experience from last year, so we expect a lot out of him. Isaiah Foster had a really good night for us, maybe a hair soft in coverage, but he's a sophomore that's really been playing JV and splitting time with the varsity and playing 2 or 3 quarters on each to stay under that 6 quarters. And he came in the night and had those 5.5 tackles and was covering one of their best players majority of the time. Isaiah is extremely athletic and still doesn't realize the potential that he could reach and his ability to really affect our football team. So as he grows into that role, things are only going to get better and better for him and for our defense. At this time, let's take a look at the second half highlights. start of the second half, unfortunately, they got a good return, and they're trying this particular play. It kind of seems silly, but this particular play hurt us. But we were there for the cutback. We got our safeties coming downhill. We got our corners coming off, and Connor's flying. I believe they ended up scoring on that possession to cut it to 12. They hit a long play. There's jet sweep there for Hudson Gray, and then a good catch by Owen. That's the kind of things I'm talking about, or a good throw by Owen, good catch by Cameron. He delivered the ball on time as consistently, if not more consistently. Great improvisation by Braden Morrison there, turning it up, tiptoeing the sideline. I believe we end up punting the ball away, and our defense does a good job to get it down. It was deep, but we kind of let them out of a hole here, which we didn't. But you can see we're kind of swallowing them. We got guys flying the ball. It's the same names that I've said. Miles Mays making some good pass rush moves, just get off the ball. There's Isaiah again. He doesn't even understand how good he can be on a personal level and how good he can make our defense. He continues to do that. Here's a good return by Braxton, just gets that last little tackle there by an arm, or he's going to come up with a big gain for us. But regardless, runs back to midfield, and then we have Ray Morrison and again Austin Duncan getting out on the screen, run the trap again. There's Cameron Collins. You can see how good a player he is, but you can see his youth. He's got to run with a little bit more lean, but still he's starting to get it. It's much better than it was early in the year. Real physical. He bounced this one out, and that's one of their best players. He drags for a couple of yards. And then we run basically quarterback ISO here out of the zone, and Owen Brooker scores to put Northwest up 33-14 with just about 3 minutes left. Huge hit by Ike. We get a great interception there for our guys, and really, with the lead we've got, we're 19 points right now, and we stop them and get that turnover, but we turn it right back over, unfortunately, and they go and score on us on this possession as it turns in the fourth quarter. But our guys are still playing hard, but they showed a little more up front. We showed a little more tired than we wanted. We want to be stronger in the fourth quarter and not slow down a little bit. Big hit by Ike. Basically makes the quarterback throw a touchdown ball out of bounds there. He's rushing, and he killed Heard County with that the previous week. And as the season goes, Dale Podge has got to stay outside a little bit there, but he scrambles. A good tackle again. There's the guy, Isaiah Foster. They end up going ahead and scoring there, I believe, to cut the lead to 33-21. Our offense moves the ball and gets a few first downs. We actually didn't get a good kickoff return. And here on third down, you can see Cameron start to put his head down and become an older, more experienced guy. And that's part of the process of growing and finishing runs. And here, we're in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left. I believe they cut the score at this point, 33-27. Cameron's got nowhere to go. He bounced it out, and then we're just trying to churn the clock. Our guys are driving them off the ball. Gian Gomez does a good job of being ultra physical for us at the point of attack. One of our more physical guys in a backup role. We're still trying to get into an experienced role. We end up taking a knee, running out the last 7.5 minutes of the game to beat Central of Carroll 33-27. Let's take a look at our corporate sponsors again. Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. we want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting our guys. And we go on our first road game of the year, which is really weird to say, in October, and travel to Cedartown. It's going to be another huge game. They're very talented. I don't lie to our football team. I think Coach Abrams does a wonderful job with them. I think they're very physical. I think their linemen do a great job. They're a wing T offense, and they do as good a job as anybody I've ever coached against, getting up to the second level, blocking linebackers, getting in the way. They have a Georgia commit at running back and outside linebacker. Their linebacker crew is extremely talented, as well as their defensive line. So they've got a lot of parts. Talented wide receiver that we're going to have to play an exceptional game. We need to play like we did the first 2 quarters against Central, but we can't have a letdown in the third quarter like we did against Central, or it will not be a good night, because they're definitely, I think every coach would agree, regardless of where they think they fit, they're one of, if not the most talented team in our region, with the players they fit out there, because they have, again, a Georgia commit and several college football players. So it's going to be a huge night at Cedartown. I know it's a break, but I hope all you guys come out to support our young men, and then we'll be back the next week after that for homecoming against Heritage. So it's region play now. We only have Southeast left on the schedule that's non-region, so every region win counts a tremendous amount. One of the things I want to talk about is reclassification. They just made the multiplier 3 for out-of-district kids, and by the time it's all said and done, our school has shrank. Our number of out-of-district kids have shrank, and we won't know for another month, but it appears as though we'll be back in our region, this region, with basically the same people. I would say Pickens maybe could move, probably not. They've been with us for several years. Central and Cedartown could go south to the Columbus school. So that's stuff that I really wouldn't know, but I feel really good about us returning and being in the same classification and getting to play our natural rivals that we've created with Ridgeland and Heritage, Southeast, and all those other guys. So until next week, this is Josh Robinson with Northwest Football.